Go ahead, Jared. How would you rate Chris Finch so far this season?
I would say at least 8.5 out of 10, if not a 9. The way he runs this team, and like he runs this team to play how we should play. We should play fast. We should shoot a lot of threes. Like that's how this team should be ran. The defense has gotten a lot better, in my opinion. I know Chris will probably agree with me on that as well. But not only that, like we know who we are at this point. We played 43 games. Like if we make shots, we're going to beat everybody. And if we don't, we're going to lose to literally anybody. Like we could lose tomorrow to the Magic if we don't hit our shots. Like that's just what this
I've
team
seen them
is.
lose to the Magic this year. I was
there. That's just how this team is. Like, and it sounds so cliche to say, but like literally, if this team puts the ball in the basket, they can beat any and everybody. And if they don't, they can also lose to anybody and everybody because that's what they do. They like the Rockets did back when Harden was there. They play fast and they shoot a ton. And if they hit them, they ain't losing. I'll tell you that much right now.
So I think it was last year they did a poll with coaches about which coach like has the best plays, calls the best plays, runs the best offense. And Chris Finch got third in the votes or fourth in the votes. Like he was definitely in the running, and a guy that is respected throughout the league for his offensive play calling and offensive ability. But this year, what he's done with the defense is amazing. And people forget that we lost our defensive coordinator that we had all set up like a week before the season started or 2 weeks before. And we brought in, I forget who it is, some big man that I remember might have been in the Jordan draft or something. And they asked him about the defense and what he plans to do. And he said, I'm here to run what Chris Finch has planned. Like, I'm just here to run the system. So this system isn't some defensive coordinator's dream that he figured out. This is Chris Finch's defense. And we've went from 25th in the league historically, probably over the last 15 years, to there's not a metric you can find that has us out of the top 10. And it started out looking like maybe it's a fluke, but man, with our athletes, we're leading the league in turnovers created. Like we're playing the way we need to play. Like you said, on offense, we're playing the way we need to. And what's great is to have a guy like D'Lo, who early in the year, I think he was quoted talking about when they talked about the GM being fired. He basically was like, listen, I've been in the league a long time. I've played for a lot of coaches. I've played for a lot of GMs. I'm just here to play ball. And it seemed like he was almost saying he doesn't care about the coaches. But now you see him just praising Chris Finch. And you see all the guys talk to him about Finchy this, Finchy that. Like seems like this bond, but yet he doesn't seem like this player's coach that's like, giving them cupcake meetings. Like he'll throw somebody under the bus in every post game. And it's not because he's being a jerk. It's because he's being honest. I think there's a real respect for him. And I think he's one of the guys that if we keep him, 10, 15 years, he's going to really turn heads and being like, coach of the year type material.
Wow. 10, 15 years. Wow.
Why not?
I mean, yeah, I think all systems go on that. I mean, as long as things work out, I'm all for it. But I think, and I heard them talking about this, I think during a broadcast of a game, Chris Finch seems like a guy that doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, right? Like he's kind of even keel. And I think that's perfect for the team that we have now. I think it almost kind of keeps them grounded because you see Timberwolves after wins, they're like celebrating on the sideline and being like super hype and stuff like that. I think we need a guy who's like, okay, let's settle down. Basically the guy that can tell them like, you haven't done anything yet, right? Like you may have beat Golden State, you may have won this game or that game, but you still need. There's still more work to be done, and that's what I like about Chris Finch. Go ahead.
He hasn't even hit his 1 year anniversary on the team. That's what we got to realize. Like this guy's like they said all offseason, all they did was set up defense. So he hasn't even really installed his offense fully. Like this is all just playing off, 1 year and a kind of a weird offseason. So
Right.
there's greater things to come. This isn't a final product.
Also, and I just want to harken back to this. Remember how this all started, where everyone was mad at us that we hired him so quick? Like
That was silly.
That seems like years ago, but like,
It's
man,
funny you're not hearing any of those people now.
right? Exactly. Like, I don't know. Like, they turned it into like a race thing. Like,
Yeah.
There was people that were mad that God, I can't think of his name off the top of my head now. I believe he was the offensive defensive coordinator or something.
Vanderpool.
He was Vanderpool.
Yeah.
That's who people were mad that we didn't go after.
Right.
I don't even know where he is. He still. I don't even know where he's at right now.
I think he's an assistant coach somewhere. That's the thing. Like, it's not like he was a number one target and teams were dying to grab him either.
Right.
Yeah. No. I just want to.
Go ahead.
I just want to reiterate back to something that we've mentioned a few times on this podcast when talking about Chris Finch. He was the guy that unlocked Jokic. He was the guy that was a big coaching back when Boogie Cousins and AD were dominating with New Orleans. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because those are three big men that have basically not been completely unlocked by Finch, but have definitely had a push by Finch to be unlocked to what their games are today. Now, when looking at the trade deadline, when we mention guys like Miles Turner and Chris Boucher and Marvin Bagley, these are all big men that we're looking to get our hands on, and we have a coach that knows how to work with these big men and kind of unlock some hidden talent. And I think that that's a big thing when looking at the trade deadline. Like, Miles Turner is a great player, but he's still young. Like, I still feel like he can be unlocked to be more. And same thing with the other two guys, both with some youth. If we get our hands on any one of those three players, I think that would be a big move going forward, not only because I like the players and I like their games and I like that we have a necessity for all three of them, but I also think that Chris Finch and the way he coaches basketball and kind of unlocks these big men could be a big thing moving forward for us if we get our hands on one of those three players.